Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to put him top center for you. It's Justin Simmons. Oh, he's got some trophies behind him. He's ready to roll. I think we figured out audio. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I knew I was in the right place whenever y'all kicked off the show with all the alcohol talk. I was like, these are my kind of people right here. And then I've watched the show a few times, but I didn't realize that Poncho was a contributing sponsor. But I'll just have them know. That's what I want.
Hell yeah.
There it is.
Here we are.
Look at that.
He didn't know.
If you're talking about alcohol, I gotta give a shout out to my sponsor back here, Lalo, because they keep me stocked during the winter months, the summer months at the margarita machine. So,
well, I mean, Justin, could you help a brother out?
Hey, Chance, I still have beef with you. The fact that you let Vincent Sinisi leave the University of Texas, that's on you, bud.
I know, but I do celebrate his Rice national championship.
Yeah, you know what? That could have been Texas's second national championship had you not let him go.
I know. I'll deal with him. He's in Lake Tahoe right now. We were just texting a minute ago. I told him you were coming on. He said, "I'm sorry, I'm fucked up. I can't talk right now."
Touche.
I think we all, if you know Vince, you believe it 100%.
So I knew when y'all kicked it off with the alcohol and the poncho, I knew it was in the right place. And then we got real deep. I don't know anything about that story. I agree with Chance and I agree with Bo. And I'm not even going to get into that. But what I can vouch for is Chance standing on the bar at the drink and pouring alcohol down people's throat. I was there.
You were in the presence of that day, huh?
I can absolutely vouch for that.
Well, Justin, it wasn't an isolated occurrence.
Yeah.
It was every Saturday post game.
All right.
Maybe on Tuesday.
Let's move on. Let's talk about 16-1 over here in 2003.
That's right. Well, yeah, Justin, let's first start off. I know you're not going to want to talk about it, but we'll let you talk a little bit because they are going to give you some love at the Dish over the weekend. I believe it's the Saturday game, correct, with Cal Poly?
That's correct.
You are being honored at Dish Falk Field. I can only imagine what that is like. Talk about your feelings going into this thing. You wore that uniform and you helped Texas win a national championship, and now you're going to get your love at the Dish all these years later. How you feeling?
Man, you guys being diehard Longhorn fans, you know the story of the University of Texas, especially the baseball program. Most storied program in the history of collegiate baseball. And, when you're living it and you're in it every day, you don't really stop and appreciate what's going on. We were really lucky from 2002 to 2005. I graduated in 2004, but 2005 they won again. But those 4 years in a row were, epic. Epic for the program. Incredible teams. And I got to say, Saturday, what's most special for me about it is I've got 6 or 7 of my former teammates that are coming in that are going to be there. And you guys know the type of pitcher I was. I didn't throw hard. I didn't strike out guys. I needed the guys behind me to make plays. And so my teammates were as much of a part of my success as I was. And so the fact that they're coming in and going to be there and be a part of it means everything to me.
That's awesome.
Well, Justin, I know, I used to love coming out to the Dish. And I loved watching you guys play because, number one, we were freaking phenomenal. I think at that time we had a basketball team that went to the Elite Eight. We had a baseball team that was winning national championships. We had a football team that was in the top 5. Shit was really
correction
cool.
I'm going to give you is they went to the Final Four. No,
Yeah, TJ
Ford.
Final
Was my
Four.
roommate.
Come on.
You remember that?
Come on.
I know. Damn it. Damn Duncanville guy. But
City of Champions, baby.
Shut up. But, I look back at those years and it was so much fun. But then I look at what's going forward and I look at what they've done with the Yeti Yard and pulling the fences in, which, you would not have been a fan of that, but, it wouldn't have been a problem because you threw the soft contact, which was, to me, the best style of pitching there is. If you can blow stuff by people are going to catch up to it. If you can throw the soft contact, you're going to win all day long. It doesn't matter who you're playing. But I look at what they're doing now. How exciting is it for you as a former baseball player to watch where this program is going? It's phenomenal.
Yeah, just to come out to the Dish, to watch the transformation of it from when I was there, the locker room, the training facilities, the Dan Brown facility down the right field line, just to come out to the Dish, it's a place that you're proud to be. whenever they first did the renovation in the locker room, that's when Augie was still with us, greatest coach of all time, in my opinion. But he made the locker room a tribute to the history of the University of Texas. All the alumni had been that essentially had built it. We didn't get to play in those incredible facilities, and they've continued that on, right? And so to come out there, be able to see that, I think what they're doing in the left field, Mark Pania and the left field crew have done a lot to bring life to the university. There you go. See? They've done a lot to bring. So that's always been the knock at the Dish, right? It just doesn't. If you go into SEC, which we're going into the SEC, but you go to SEC stadiums, there's just not a whole lot of, there's not a lot of student participation. There's not a lot of ruckus going on. You go to SEC in right field, they've got 150 students, and every time they hit a home run, they're throwing beers in the air. Well, I watched that the other night on TV about 6 times whenever we beat Houston Christian 20-2, right? I haven't been in the Yeti Yard yet, but I think that's fantastic to do whatever we can do. I think they should build a second level that's free for students to be able to come and hang out and be there and participate. But everything that's going on at the Dish, I love it. Coach Pierce is doing a good job. He and I have a good relationship. Fortunately, he was at Rice in 2002, then U of H. He was actually at U of H in 2002, and then Rice in 2003 and beyond. So we have a special relationship. We got a special relationship.
Jason Dick, you got something for Justin Simmons?
Yeah, Justin, thanks for being on the show. You mentioned your teammates earlier. You actually won a national championship with a couple of my Round Rock High School teammates, Kevin Frizzell, Jeff Ontiveros, rest in peace. Most important question, did they mention me? Did they ever say anything about a slow, light-hitting, no-arm catcher? It's very
I don't recall.
What? They told me they were going to put in a good word for me. I swear to God.
Well, let's be fair. And like you said, rest in peace. God rest his soul. Love Jeff Ontiveros. We all know Jeff. But he didn't talk about anybody but himself.
Hold on. He talked about his cousins a lot.
Oh, that is so true. God, I love Jeff.
No, talk about, when you win a championship like you guys did together, does that sort of intensify the bond? Is that sort of how you guys become lifelong friends? Is that part of it?
Absolutely is a short answer, but I would say it started before that. I believe that the core group of guys that we had during that stretch, there was a few guys that, with 02, 03, and 04, the recruiting class, we all just meshed and became a bonded group, and that's what made us good. It was the relationships between us. Chance talked about earlier going and sticking up for kids on the playground. We did that with each other, right? If you ever saw a man down, and to this day, if any one of those guys on any one of those teams, I don't care if I hadn't talked to him in 10 years, called, we're going to go and be there for him. And anytime you win in any program, whether it's on the field, it's business, life, whatever, everything's better, right? Which so strengthens that bond. But I believe what made us successful was that bond was tight before we had all the success. And the success just made it stronger.
Yeah. You see, just talking about being a good teammate, Chance is like, I'm out of here. I gotta get out of here.
I wasn't even going to say that.
Hey, no. Here. This is why I had to jump out real quick.
What he had some technical errors like I did. I was sweating like a kid at a 3rd grade math test just trying to get on this damn Zoom call. Couldn't get the camera to work, couldn't get the microphone to work.
No, see, my little buddy, I put him outside, and he was ready to come in, so he was ripping at the door.
There it is. There it is. Bo, what do you got?
So I'm going to take it a completely different direction, Justin, because I've known you too long and know the level of fun you get to have when you go to these hunting trips that you go on. Of all the musicians that you've had around a campfire at a different place, who's the best?
I don't say this just because he's probably one of my closest of the group, but Co Wetzel, man, his voice, raw, no band, sitting around a campfire is incredible. I mean, the very first time we met him, he's singing the cabin. He was just sitting there on a chair. He didn't know any of us, playing acoustic by himself, and was like, I'm not really a music guy. I don't really know music well. And I was like, holy shit, this dude can fucking sing. And since that time, that was about 7-8 years ago, we've become really good friends. And let me give him an extra shout out. So you're probably going to bring this up at some point, but I sit on the board of RBI. We sell these hunts, and Co has shown up year after year. I think this year we just sold probably the 6th hunt in a row at the RBI banquet, where Co comes to the hunt, plays for the group, and he does it year after year and raises a ton of money for kids. And so not only is he the best singer, he's a great dude, loves to hunt, sing, and
Hey, I can tell you, as somebody that's been to 146 concerts at the Woodlands Pavilion, when Co came last summer, it was second best. I will say my buddy Parker McCullum was number 1 because he's from here. So he grew up going, but right behind that was Co. God, it was freaking good. And I've seen
you buddies with Parker, because I was actually trying to get Parker for this hunt this last year. And we had a lot of connections to him. He was just too busy and wouldn't commit. But if you got one more angle at him, we'll lock him down.
Man, Bo calls.
I got to go to.
I actually think, Justin, I think you were at the Co concert and we were texting back and forth.
Yeah, we actually. So my cousin is the chef at Tris there in the Woodlands. Mm-hmm. Shout out to him, who also shows up at these hunts every year, because last year we raised $120,000 off this hunt for the kids. But he comes and cooks. Co comes and plays. But we had dinner before the show with Co at the restaurant, and then he went over and sang. I don't know how he eats that meal, massive steak, potato meal, and then goes and performs on stage. I was ready for a nap.
I remember the last Co Wetzel concert I went to. You were texting me because it was me. My friends that got in the fight and got thrown out at Cedar Park Center.
Cedar Park.
He had no idea, but I get a text while I'm sitting there dealing with the deal with the cuffs, like, that's got to be you, right? And I'm like, no bullshit. Yes, it is.
Hey, you know your friends well, right?
Man, Bo getting rowdy at a Cole Wetzel show. Before we get too far away from it, Justin, tell the folks a little more about RBI Austin, the organization, and what you guys have done. How long has it been going on now?
So RBI is sanctioned by Major League Baseball. Started in LA, and I don't know, don't quote me on this, 87 plus or minus. RBI stands for Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities. And Major League Baseball started popping them up. They're kind of like individual franchises, if you will, around the country. And then the blueprint is they start one in Major League Baseball towns, right? They start an RBI program. The Major League players come out, do a camp, and then they wind up writing a check to help support and fund the program, because Major League Baseball doesn't provide any funding. We started one in Austin. Round Rock Express, the Nolan Ryan family has been incredible, but those AAA guys don't make any money. I can vouch for that. That's where my career ended, was AAA, and I think I was making $2,700 a month living in Vegas in AAA.
Damn, you
no money.
Making a good living.
Yeah.
Most of them are making like $1,800 a month.
Yeah. Well, in AA, that was it. You go to AAA and you make an extra $800 a month. It's really awesome. But anyway, so we started the one in Austin. We started it in 2011. The very first year we had one team. Last summer we had 1,458 kids, 90 teams, baseball and softball. Kat Osterman runs the softball side of the situation, and then we got the baseball side. We're amidst of fundraising about $8 million to build an incredible facility off of Loyola Lane between 183 and 130. We're on the tail end of finishing that fundraising, and it's going to be an epic home for RBI. And, just serving these kids, you think back, all of us, Little League, right? Who ran your Little League programs? Moms, dads, or coaches, right? They don't have those. I mean, most of them are single-parent households. Most of the time, the dad's not around. So we put together the volunteers. And at the end of the day, we're running a Little League program, but it also has a mentorship aspect associated with it to try and get these kids a chance in life, right? Seeing what's outside their neighborhood and showing them that there's additional opportunity. So it's really been fun to watch the program grow, see the kids now that we've been in existence 12 years, having kids that started in the program come back, serve in the program, and have graduated college and have jobs. It's really gratifying to see.
I think it's phenomenal because you remember when we were growing up, like we did play Little League or Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle, whatever, and then towards our end of our high school career, like select ball started getting big. Well, now that's all that's big, right?
And it starts at like 8.
It starts at 8. And Justin, I blame Vincent for this because we play with Adam Dunn's organization, and it costs an arm and a half a leg. At least they don't take my whole leg. They only take half my leg, but they take my whole arm every month. And there's so many kids that are so talented that have an opportunity to go just be part of something bigger than themselves, right? Like I was talking to Tillman Holloway the other day, and the one thing he said was, I just want to do something that's bigger than me. And to me, the RBI thing is that.
Agreed. At the end of this runway for all of us, all you're left with is your legacy, right? What did you do? What do people remember you by? And so, for me, that has a lot to do with it. I had a lot of fun along the way, and will continue to have a lot of fun along the way. But being able to do something that you can put your stamp on and give back to the community is important, and it's been really fun to watch and see it grow. I do have to do this. I have to do this up close because I don't ever get these out.
Oh, snap.
I had to put them all on.
Oh, wow. That's impressive there. Got a lot of jewelry.
Damn.
Man, that cup got real heavy.
Damn. Hey, Justin, here's the funny thing. I don't have a single one of my bowl rings. Not my Rose Bowl.
What happened to it?
Yeah. Well, the pawn shop has them, obviously.
I was broke as hell, and I had to sell them shits.
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to.
I wasn't going to go there, Jason.
My bad. Sorry.
I was broke as hell, and I was like, man, I got to do something. I got to pay this electric bill, so that's what I did.
Man, we got to get the
That
quarterback.
was back when we were working for Hugs because I was with it.
Can we get we need to get the quarterback community together, maybe the Longhorn community. We need to go on a hunt for the Chance Mock rings. Can we do that? Can we get it done like the tennis guys did for Bjorn Borg back in the day? Come on now. Let's go.
Go and search eBay and see if we can find them.
They're somewhere out there, but yeah,
I was with him. I don't remember what it was that I sold that day, but it was
the Rose Bowl ring.
Plasma. It was Plasma Bowl.
I sold him something. You sold the Rose Bowl ring, and I sold something else. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I had to keep the electricity on.
When we were working in the basement that became Coke FM, that's exactly what it was. We were working for Hugs, so we had to sell some shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Still don't have it.
I got a buddy that bought his first Porsche selling sperm, so whatever.
Wow. Man,
there's a joke there,
Justin.
There's definitely a joke there. I
really
don't want to upset the person that I was throwing there.
Yeah, there is some exactly. I just can't come up with exactly what that joke would be that would keep us.
I'll just tell you, his IQ is higher than all five of us combined. So that's why he was the top seller.
I was gonna say
85
to get up to Porsche level. To get up to Porsche level, I bet you the material had to be at that level too. That's all I'm saying. And by the way, Chris Bennett, you know what? How dare you? Chance did not sell the Texas State Championship bowl ring because nobody would buy it.
I sold the Rose Bowl ring.
No, but the state championship one, you could probably give that one away, right? You just handed that to somebody?
Well, I didn't care about it, so I never kept it longer than 2 minutes. I was done.
He probably gave it to a chick his freshman year.
He had it on a necklace and it fell off in one of his shot pouring exhibitions.
Yeah. By the way, Justin, you were talking earlier about, obviously we're talking about the dish and you going out there this weekend. Again, it's the Saturday game with Cal Poly. Thanks to our man, Chris Bennett, for reminding us that Augie coached at Cal Poly back in the day, in case people are looking for maybe a connection with those two schools. But they are coming in this weekend. What do you think about grass at the dish? Because apparently that is in the works at some point. What do you think about grass at the dish?
Ever since they changed the turf from the old school AstroTurf that we played on, where you used to get the crazy bounces in the summer, was a real home field advantage because it played completely different than a true grass field, right? Now the AstroTurf plays so similar to grass that you don't really have that advantage. I mean, there are some nuances, and I just think the field would be – the baseball field is meant to be grass. A perfectly manicured baseball field, there's nothing pretty. I our team when I was in AA in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, granted, you get a lot of rain there and it's not quite as hot. It won Surface of the Year like 6 years in a row. It was one of the most incredible places to play. And every day when you walk out, the smell of the grass. So I'd be all in favor of going to grass.
I mean, Justin, as a baseball guy, and I don't want to, Chad, don't get your head too big over here, but I go and watch my cousin play. He was playing at Mississippi State, and they were playing against A&M in a doubleheader. And you're watching the real surface. And, you know, the old school, the guys out there spraying the water on it just to get that dirt from that light reddish brown into that dark brown. Like, there's something about that. Is there not? Like that?
Chalking the lines, the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
For
that is
sure.
going to be very, very
little
cool.
funny aside story. So the groundskeeper of the year in Jacksonville, Florida, surface was pristine. He really learned all of his pitchers, and he would ask you about like your sexual prowess, kind of what you were into. And he would, for the starting pitcher, he would go out there and on the backside of the mound, so you couldn't see it from the stands, with a little chalk and bubble gum. He would always have something real dirty built into the backside of the mound. It was always hilarious.
Funny. That is funny. So if you told him something that maybe you were into, you had a little message waiting for you, huh?
Yeah, it was always entertaining. I mean, obviously only we knew about it, so you'd watch the starting pitcher. You didn't know what. No one else in the dugout knew what it was. You watch the starting pitcher run out, and he'd go out there, look at the back, and just start cracking up laughing. And then
That is funny. Now, was the custom to see the message and then maybe scratch it out with your spikes? Like, what was that what you did?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Why is there a girl's phone number on the back of the mound? Did you guys notice that?
There was a lot of tricks for that for kids in minor leagues. You know, you give them a baseball, and a 12-year-old kid will do anything. I'll give you this baseball. If you see that girl in row 12, you go get her phone number and bring it back to me.
There you go.
Wow.
I had unlimited amounts of baseballs.
I will not name the individual by name because, you know, it's his deal at this point. But Chance a couple of people on this podcast know him. But I had a friend who played at the College World Series, not for Texas, for a different team. And he was writing his room number on the balls and handing them out to the co-eds along the wall and they showed it on ESPN, and they're like, look at how nice this guy is spreading the love of the game. And he's like literally handing baseballs out. 19-year-old girls up in the stands. And all it was like, Lakita, 14-22.
Hey, sometimes you got to leverage your position. You know what I mean?
Hey, well, look,
It worked.
It did work, but this is what I want to ask you, Justin, because I know from just talking to Vincent and, you know, talking to you throughout the years or whatever, Omaha, it is so different than anything in sports. I mean, take the college football playoffs out of it because they change every year. You go to Omaha, that's where you've been going forever and a day. You're trying to get to Omaha. When you get there, like, just talk about taking the mound in Omaha, the entire world watching. It's freaking phenomenal.
Before I get to that, I'm going to just say it goes to testament to Augie, right? And then after you watch his documentary, Inning by Inning, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's phenomenal. The Cal State guys going back in history, he told them the same thing. But the first meeting we had in UT baseball locker room, I'm a freshman, haven't stepped on the field and done a single thing. He holds the first meeting. He says, guys, you were recruited here and you showed up here, and everything you do from here forward on that field is to win a national championship. And that's what we're going to do. So it started there. And then the last thing he said before we get off the bus to go play the national championship game, he says, you know how it is when you pull up with the bus, the coach and stops, and everything gets real quiet. Augie stands up, turns around, and he said, guys, just want you to know one thing. The world is a different place for winners. No one remembers second place. He turns around, gets off, walks off the bus.
Wow.
But so that's kind of how he started and ended his deal. But back to your question. I mean, I don't know if you did this, Chance, as a high school kid or, you know, somewhere along the way, but Omaha hosts high school and 12 to 16, 18-year-old tournaments during the College World Series, right? Your kids go up there and you play, then you go to the College World Series.
Hey, before you do that story, I will say Pierce came out because of Sinisi. Pierce came out to every one of our kids' games in a 12U game when they were playing the World Series, the year that Mississippi State won it.
Yeah. But so I did that as a kid. And I remember I was a kid, but I was 16 or 17. We actually stayed in the same hotel that Miami was in, just by random luck. Miami wins the national championship. And I remember all those dudes partying all night long. And I was like, damn, that's fucking cool. I want to do that one day. Guess what? We did. But, just going out there on the field, the back to, I think, really what you were asking. At the beginning, you've got 8 teams and you got 8 fan bases there all at the same time. The energy for the first 4 or 5 days, whenever all the teams are there, all the fans are there, all the fans think they got a chance to win a national championship, is unrivaled. I mean, it just really is. It's really special. And then to go to the end, and I remember them asking me on the field after we won the national championship, it's like, and Chance, you know how this is, but all the work, time, effort in the fall off season, doing 5 a.m. workouts when you don't want to get up. Shit, you're in college. I mean, we worked out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Friday morning workouts. Shit, I'd been out till 3 o'clock in the morning and had to be at workout at 5:15.
Wasn't my
fault. All that to go in and get and to be able to win your last game. There's only one team that gets to do that, and to be able to be victor in that last game and have all that work come to fruition and pay off is just. It's just a feeling that, you live the rest of your life. You go back and you wish, man, I wish I could go back and go to those 5:15 a.m. workouts again, which now my old ass, I get up at 5:15 and work out because I can't do it at any other time. And I promised myself in college, I was like, I will never do this again in life.
Justin,
I will tell you, Sinisi's doing the same thing. And his old ass is going over there to Tomball Medical Center. And he's doing workouts with these old men. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, bro, if I get past 8 a.m., I ain't doing it.
So, Justin, take us back to 0-2 in that last game. Take us back to maybe the 30 seconds that led up to the very last out. What was your perspective on it for the people that maybe they haven't watched it in a while? They don't know every little detail. Where were you? You're on the were you on the mound? Were you in the dugout? Where were you? What was your perspective?
So, fortunately, I was in the dugout, and we had Houston Street, who had like almost a 0 ERA on the mound, closing it out. And, man, you put Street on the mound with a lead. I mean, at that point, I think I don't remember the score. Actually, I have it over here on something. I think it was 12-6.
I was going to say it was a pretty good lead. And you started that game, correct?
I did start that game. Pitch 6, and then we kind of bullpen by committee because we had a lot of fresh arms. We had multiple days off. And having Street on the mound, he had less than a 1 ERA, I'm pretty sure, that year.
Yeah.
You just knew the game was over. And we talked about Jeff Ontiveros earlier. Ground ball to Jeff to finish the game. And, man, there it is. Like, wow, this is what we worked for all year. But the one thing I will say, probably the coolest moment of that whole game, not the whole game, but the series. So, and this goes back to Augie and his intuition as a coach. And he did that again in 05 with Chance Wheelis. Wheelis had a dislocated shoulder. It's in the movie. He's like, Chance, you're coming out of the game. And Chance is like, no, coach, I'm going to hit. He leaves him in. He hits a home run in the championship. It's like, what? Well, so in 02, it was a 1 game, right? There was no 2 out of 3. Chris Carmichael. So in 02, we had an outfield. We had 6 guys in the outfield that should be starting everywhere in the country. And we got 3 guys sitting on the bench. That's just how good our outfield was. Chris Carmichael was one. Eric Soltemire was platooning in and out a lot, but was playing. But Carmichael didn't start a game in the College World Series. But we won every game, so we had a lot of practice time in between over at Creighton. And we're hitting BP, and Carmichael is just on fire. He doesn't miss a ball in BP. Everything is squared up. Augie starts him national championship game. He hadn't started a game in College World Series, and he hits a 3-run homer in that game. And I guarantee you go and ask any guy on the team what was the coolest moment in the game, and they will every one of them will say that. because Carmichael was a guy, again, he was a senior, hadn't played. He played quite a bit that year, but platoon, never complained, never was a Debbie Downer, worked hard. He worked hard all week when he hadn't started, got his opportunity in the national championship game. Augie pushes his button, and guess what? He delivers. That's a special. That gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
Fucking awesome.
And Augie having the wherewithal and just his own intuition just to be like, you know what, this guy's got it and going with it is just awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. Baseball and hunches. Nothing wrong with a hunch in baseball.
Absolutely.
Without a hunch, there would be no baseball. Come on.
That's it. That's it.
I mean, going back to hunches, I'll bag on get on Sinisi a little bit. So I went 16-1 that year. Pretty good year. I was pretty damn good up until the regional. I wasn't very good in the regional. I wasn't very good in the super regional. Coach Anderson came to me and he said, hey, you're starting game 1 in the College World Series against Rice, because if you hadn't had the season you had, we wouldn't be here. You're our guy. We're going to need you to be the guy. Threw 6 2/3 against Rice, and I'm sure Bo remembers it. I don't know, Chance, if you remember, but that play where Graham had to duck and Omar Quintanilla threw over the top of Graham. Well, that was a leadoff in the 7th inning. Sinisi leads off with a double against me. Off the wall, asshole.
That's what he does.
Actually, I had 1 out, then double. So he's on second base. They pull me. And then that play happens. Well, if he scores on that play, then I don't get the win because we won 2-1. That would have been my run and would have tied the game. Fortunately, Graham ducked. Omar Quintanilla makes a play of the century from over there. And now I have it on videotape forever, and I'm good friends with Sinisi. He was thrown out at home plate, so I can wear him out forever about it. So that's,
he will never live that one down.
Hey, you know what, though? On the other side of that, all he has to say is, hey, who won next year? Because they won a national championship the next year. So
they did, and I will say he is, to me, a lot of great hitters. Vincent was the best hitter I've ever been around. Like
pure hitter.
True, pure hitter. And injury's the only reason he's not sniffing at
real wealthy
Hall of Fame stuff.
I agree 100%. Could absolutely swing it. Great dude. Good, incredible baseball player. Guys who just got it, he had it. Like again, still pissed off at you let him go to Rice.
That's the only reason that I don't teach my son hitting. I go talk to Vincent, and he'll come back and be like, "Dad, what'd you think?" I go talk to Vincent.
So
I know you could swing it a little bit, and especially off the bump. You had a cannon for an arm.
Oh, I could do it, but I let my son. I let him go to Vincent. That's what we do.
Well, when you got him in your back pocket, that's not a terrible option.
No.
Hey, Bo, before we get too deep into this, so we want to see if we can get a guest out of Justin?
Well, that's what I was going to say. One, a suggestion for Vince's 50th birthday, which is coming sooner than he thinks it's going to. You need to get that picture blown up of him getting hosed, which is like you looking over him like
that's a
Joe
beautiful
Peterson
idea.
style, where it's like you and Chance and other Longhorns like looking down at him like we've only just begun.
Do not put me in that picture.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Thank you for the suggestion. I'm going to do that.
Well, and you're just the kind of guy that would pull it off, being the most.
I'll have it delivered. I'm going to have it matted and framed and send it to him.
Yeah, exactly. So what we have what we call the guest train, where everybody nominates someone else and then gets me a number and tells them that it's a fun show if you enjoyed the show, obviously. So we've had Ty Harrington, who suggested Shane Leckler. We got to get off the Aggie train now, so we got to bounce it back. And Shane is tracking down Dan Campbell, which will be fun. But we need a long suggest.
You want?
It could be Coetzel. It's cool.
It could be Phil Wetzel or Chase Rice or any of your musical friends.
Cole might actually do it. He likes to bullshit and talk sport. Hey, speaking of him, I watched him hit on video. I wasn't there, but he showed up because he played football at Tarleton State, I believe. He showed up at Tarleton. He's in jeans, boots, and he's hitting batting practice with the team. He's a little overweight at this point with a wooden bat hitting balls out of the stadium.
Wow.
I mean, I could hit. I showed up in Texas to hit a little bit. I couldn't go and hit balls out of the ballpark right now.
You couldn't show up in that poncho shirt and just start crushing it?
Nah, I couldn't do it.
You know
I
what?
couldn't pull it off with this equipment.
Justin, I'm going to my grave believing that you could. So don't tell us otherwise.
Oh,
You know who I think would be good and fit in would be, well, actually, I got two. Maybe either J. Brent Cox or Sam LeCure. Sam LeCure does color for Cincinnati Reds, and he played with the Reds for 6 years.
Jay
It's
Brent's
just
funny,
a
man.
personality.
I'm thinking Jay Brent because we don't want to jeopardize Sam's day job by him coming on here and us saying something stupid. So Jay Brent, Sam's great, but there'll be some video on YouTube that involves Sam's picture and it won't end well.
Well, let me tell you what, if he hadn't already detrimentalized his career, then it can't be done. I promise you.
It's like a straight punch to the baby maker. Just if he hadn't already fucked it up, well, he will here.
All right. Well, we will.
No, I'll nominate Cox. Cox is he's a lot of fun. Redneck as they come. Likes to have a few beers and talk shit.
Yeah, he used to
so
come out to
he'd be a
Super
good
Cooper.
one. I'll get you in touch with him.
that sounds like it'll work. Sounds like it'll work. Bo, you want to say goodbye to the man?
Thank you very much for coming on, Justin. We'll talk again. Obviously, you do a lot of help for Super Cooper. So enjoy your next hunting trip, and we'll talk soon.
Hey,
Guys, thanks for having me. It's been a blast talking with you, and enjoy the show. You guys always bring in cool guests and keep it real. So, it's like sitting around talking to buddies. You speak your mind, you speak your heart, which is good to see. It's not, some bullshit that's just put on TV because they need to say what they need to say. So keep doing what you're doing, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
hopefully
you,
we'll
Justin.
have you on a little bit more.
Yeah, man. And congrats on everything you got coming Saturday, man. Enjoy Saturday.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is Justin Simmons, everybody. And they are going to honor him at the Dish on Saturday. Very, very cool stuff. That's the Saturday game with Cal Poly.